Hey Internet, let's talk about sexuality. I'm Luna.
And I'm Mick.
And we want to discuss how development agencies disregard sexuality when they talk about the implementation and use of ICTs in emerging markets. According to the ICTs for Development program, ICTs should be used as tools to fight poverty through economic and educational gains. They want to do this, for example, by providing farmers with mobile phones so that they can retrieve and compare the latest crop prices. However, this utilitarian view ignores the ways in which ICTs can be used for leisure purposes, such as chatting, forming online relationships, or watching porn. But why is it assumed that people in emerging markets are different from us in terms of sexuality and online behavior? Carol Vance explains this in her article on the politics of sexuality.
Some believe that sexuality is a privileged topic, important only to affluent groups, so to talk of it betrays bad manners and bad politics on the part of sexual betters towards the deprived, who reputably are only interested in issues that are concrete, material and life-saving, as if sexuality were not all of these.
In short, we do not associate the poor with sexuality, we desexualize them as it were. This idea is also recognized by Susie Jolly, who explains that within the framework of development, sexuality is generally seen in a negative way. In the Western society, sex is connected to pleasure, fun and love. This aspect of sexuality is often ignored in the context of development. However, a list of countries which watch the most porn online reveals the contrary. On the 10th place we have Poland, followed by the Philippines, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, India, Morocco, Iran. In the 3rd place is Vietnam, 2nd Egypt, and the country that watches the most porn is Pakistan. This list, composed by Google as part of a research of PornMD, shows that sexuality plays a prominent role in emerging markets. But why is this surprising to us?
Turns out that the poor in emerging markets don't differ that much from us in their uses of ICT. They want to have fun and be intimate, just like the rest of us. I'd say it's mind-blowing, but it really isn't. I mean, when there's so much literature on the possible benefits of the internet with identity play online and social support systems online, or sexuality and intimacy being experimented with online, why in the hell would that only apply to the Western world and not to the emerging markets? I know I enjoy watching porn and I look for all kinds of intimacy online, and with me a whole lot of other people do as well, no matter if that's platonic, romantic or sexual. So, as we said earlier, Susie Jolly argues that development agencies talk about sexuality in an implicit and negative way. They see sexuality as a sort of secondary issue to survival issues such as poverty. But are sex and love not just as important to our survival? Aren't we avoiding the fact that development should be much more than just solving material poverty? Let's take a look at some empirical research on the matter. Hao and Yilu researched how online networks can be a venue for social support for bisexual men in Taiwan. Bisexual men face increasing social, legal and institutional discrimination. As a result, they encounter hostility, criminalization, homophobia, depression, social anxiety, and body image disturbances. They stress how important it is for bisexual men to have a social support system, and they found that the men in their study who participated and interacted with other bisexual men online were much more accepting of their sexuality. Online social support was essential for their development of a positive self-image and helped them understand, cope with, and ultimately accept their own sexuality.
There has also been research on how mobile phones function as a form of currency amongst coatis, which are men attracted to men that develop several gender expressions based on the context they are in. They are more traditionally masculine with their families, but have a more effeminate style when they are with their male partners. This research shows how the phone can also be a safe space for the coatis to express their coati identity. Another research shows that young women in the slums of India use the internet to chat with boys while skipping their computer skill classes. This enables them to come into contact with men and boys outside of their immediate environment and their own economic status.
So, to conclude, in line with what Payal Arora argues, sexuality and leisure are an important part of our day-to-day lives, and much can be learned from studying it. especially in the context of development.
We strongly believe that disregarding sexuality and leisure when talking about development is a big mistake, because what is surviving without having fun doing it?